discussion for our first topic, which is your primer design. But before we discuss those things, we have to discuss the following. First, we have to discuss the schedule for the next few days, our submission dates, reporting rules, and then we're going to discuss your design discussion, and then data remember. Okay. So before we start with that, I just want to share to you, sorry, the week 4 and week 5 schedule. So for the next few weeks, we're going to have your online classes. Kasi baka magtaka or mag-ask kayo kung anong gagawin natin for the next few weeks, we're going to have an online classes. So October 5, that will be next week, will be the submission date for your uh, laboratory worksheet number 1, which I think, did I upload it na? Na-upload ko na ba yung worksheet? Yung report, worksheet 1 nyo? Tama? Na-upload ko na ba? Okay. So I hope na nabasa niyo na yon, and then for lab report number 1, I'm going to upload the format after the class. Okay? And then for the submission date, that will be on week 5, which will be on October 12th. And then, sige, great. Dito ka na rin discuss. I think 32MB messaged me yesterday for asking for being excused next week, tama ba? Will be the same case sa 31MB. Full day din kayo excuse. So our schedule, hindi ayaw kasing sisira yung schedule natin. Okay lang naman. Excuse kayo next week. But the thing is, on October, kung hindi na magiging September 28 yung quiz nyo at reporting nyo, the schedule will be on October 5. So medyo lagarit kayo ng October 5 kasi hindi naman ako yung mapapagod. Ang i-discuss ko lang naman is yung sa dulo, yung phylogenetic analysis. So that will be on week 4. Tama? So on week 4, October 5, kailangan nyo munang mag-reporting. So I think may meeting na kayo nila Ma'am Des. And ang napag-usapan namin ni Ma'am Des ay morning kayo sa kanya. Pag hindi face-to-face ang class or online classes, morning kayo sa kanya, and then 32MB tsaka 31MB, sabay kayo na hapon sa akin. But the thing is kasi, mag-quiz kayo. So, most probably, 1:30 mag-start yung 31MB muna, tama, bago 32MB. So, 31MB, mag-start tayo by 1:30 kasi you have to do reporting. Kailangan maghiwalay yung klase for reporting. Di pwedeng sabay. 1:30 for 31MB. Sana nasusundan nyo to. For reporting. And then mag-quiz kayo ng by 2:30. And then by 2:30 naman, habang nag-quiz si 31MB, si 32MB naman mag-start for reporting. That will be, so mag-quiz naman kayo by 3:30. So the class will start siguro ng 4 o'clock. Okay? So, okay na yan. Actually, pwedeng pwede na yan. 4 p.m. mag-start yung, tawag dito, yung lecture class natin. So, mag-join by 4 p.m. yung both 32MD tsaka 31MD para isahan na lang tayo for phylogenetic analysis. So, ganun yung mangyayari sa atin or sa inyo on October 5 dahil wala kayo ng September 28. Okay? I hope nakuha at nasundan iyon. So, yung date na to, na nandito kanina, yung September 28, this will be on October 5. Okay, reporting tsaka quiz tayo ng topic 1. Topic 1, yung topic 1 natin, this is your topic 1, yung discussion natin today. Okay? Nakuha po ba? Can I have a thumbs up if nakuha yon? Okay, 1:30, 31MB for our reporting, 2:34, 32MB reporting. Okay? And then 4 p.m., sabay-sabay na quiz. Ay sabay-sabay na discussion. Okay? So, let's discuss next yung reporting rules. Kasi kailangan nyo makuha yun. Yan. Okay. So for our uh reporting rules, okay. So most likely you're going to do the post-lab reporting. So bakit nga ba tayo merong post-lab reporting? Kasi as I observed in the past years, some of your batchmates or upper years, yung mga ate at kuya niyo, hindi kayo ganon kagaling. Marunong kayo sumagot, but you are not confident enough of your answers. Medyo kinakabahan kayo, for example, pag thesis, medyo kahit saan kayo dalhin, dapat yung sagot isa. Dapat yung sagot nyo, ito dapat yung sagot ko. Medyo nalilito kayo sa mga terms na ginagamit ni panel, sa mga tinatanong ni panel kahit nandun naman sa papel nyo. So you have to be knowledgeable enough and improve your communication skills and confidence as well in order for you to communicate well and transmit knowledge to your panel. And you have to discuss the results and provide conclusions in your own point of view. And at the end of the day, going to pursue the research field, it's good for everyone na marunong kayong makipag-communicate at makipag-usap sa mga reviewers nyo or sa mga technical personnels nyo kasi it's a life skill. Kailangan nyo siyang matutunan. And ano nga ba ang need mong ilagay dun sa presentation mo? Una, you have to put your title ng experiment. Yung title natin, for example ngayon, primer design. So, sa title mo, dapat um, nandun yung objective at yung hypothesis kung meron man. Introduction, small ano lang, small things about yung hindi ko na sinabi, yun lang iladagdag mo. Kasi may mga times na sinabi ko na, so hindi mo na kailangan ulitin kasi alam na ni classmate mo yun. And then, flowchart or procedural flowchart, hindi naman kailangan lahat ng nasa experiment kailangan mong ilagay. So there are times na what do you call this? Na yung mabilisan na lang kasi onti lang din yung time nyo kung paano nyo sila sasabihin. Tapos data observation sa discussion, what you have to see, yung mga results nyo, anong nangyari, bakit yun nangyari. So minsan sinasabi nilang to, hindi kailangan lahat ilagay sa tawag dito, sa PowerPoint mo. And then yung conclusion sa recommendation, ano yung point of view mo? Paano siya pwede ma-improve? And ano yung summary ng ginawa niyo? So yung rules natin, you have to create hanggang 12 slides lang and 68 minutes presentation. Sige, hanggang 10 minutes. Max na yon. Kaya halimbawa, um, matapos tayo, halimbawa 1:30, matapos tayo ng 2 o'clock, at least meron kayong 30 minutes to prepare. Okay? So, yeah. Okay. 3 minutes, 2 minutes to prepare. And then, um, after nun, kayo na ba sa design? Only one presenter lang. So, kung apat kayo, ako yung mamimili. So, hindi pwedeng kayo yung mamili. Ako yung mamimili ng person kung sino yung magre-reporting. Okay? Ako yon. So, dapat lahat ng classmate natin or groupmate natin prepared. Alam niya yung sasabihin niya kasi sa kanya nakasalalay yung mga bagay-bagay. Okay? Hindi naman ako magtatanong. Normally, nagko-comment lang ako. Siyempre, magva-vary yung comment ko. Siyempre, depende dun sa tao na mag-report. But always remember, you have to be responsible at medyo buhat-buhat mo yung team. Kaya hindi pwede kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo na kung nafe-feel nyo ngayon na medyo pabigat si classmate, edi ilaglag niyo na yan. Sabihin niyo na, sir, pabigat po si ganito. Okay? And then, pwede ka bang maglagay ng name? Yes, pwede. Kung pasok naman yung mga yung name na yon sa reporting mo, why not? Pwede yun. And then you have to upload your PowerPoint kasi hindi ako nag-upload ng PowerPoint ko. Okay? Kayo yung PowerPoint niya maging silbing reviewer yun ng mga classmates niyo. So, i-upload niyo yun via PDF, walang problema. Kung magtatanong ba ako, like what I've mentioned earlier, hindi ako magtatanong. But most likely, I'm going to comment on those kailangan i-improve sa susunod na reporting kung meron man. I think you have next reporting yung sa final requirement yun na yun. And then, um, si classmates ba sir, pwede magtanong? Yes, pwede silang magtanong. Hindi naman, ano yan, hindi naman masama yung pagtatanong ni classmate. Kaya ako nga ito ginawa para si classmate yung magtatanong ng pusa sa inyo. So, sir, okay lang bang mag-close cam? As much as possible, sana mag-open cam tayo. Para sabi ko nga sa inyo, makita yung kagandahan ng, makita yung kagandahan nga. Di ba? Para patunayan natin tamang sasabi ng nanay at tatay niya. Wala lang. Something new. Um, what else? Sir, paano po kami gigradean? So, yung graded nyo, ganito, for scientific knowledge, syempre kailangan properly and indicate yung accurate understanding ng scientific purposes and principle, delivered well and presented well. Hindi naman ako English major, so hindi ko naman mapapansin masyado yung grammatical errors nyo. Kasi ako din naman nagkakamali. So, dead mo sa bashers. So, kailangan lang well presented ka yung sa mga bagay-bagay. Discuss of the topic and experiment, kailangan malinaw sa lahat kung paano niya iyon sasabihin at makonvey at matransmit niyo yung knowledge na gusto niyo sabihin. Also, yung presentation nyo, yung PowerPoint nyo, kailangan siya maayos. Okay? And then, syempre, time limit natin, 10 minutes, max na yun. Pag sumobra sa 10 minutes, automatic, you're going to have a grade of 1. Okay? So, total points of 25. Okay, pag nagsobra na ng 10, i-call out ko na yung one of the group mates nyo na, uy, sobra na kayo, sabihin mo na si classmate reporter na stop na. Okay? Meron bang tanong? May tanong ba tayo? Wala? Can I have a thumbs up? Yes, Manrique.
Sir, good morning po. Since nasabi niyo naman na po na pwede pong magtanong yung classmates about po sa magiging presentation, pwede po bang like yung magiging ka-groupmates sasagot din about dun? Or yung mismong presenter lang po?
Center lang.
Okay po. Thank you po.
Okay, walang problema. What else? Good question. Thank you for that, Manrique. Yes, pleno.
Good morning po, sir. Sa mga pa-subjects po kasi namin, kahit po hindi sila magre-report for that day, gumagawa po sila ng presentation. So, dito po ba sa subject na to, kung yung group po na yun is hindi naka-assign magre-report, gagawa pa rin po ba kami ng sarili naming live presentation?
Hindi na po. Yung mga grupo lang na assigned that day kasi that will be a waste of time for you. Sayang yung oras na kung gagawa kayo, hindi naman kami present.
Okay, thank you po, sir.
Okay. Yung grupo lang ha ng present sila lang yung gagawa ng presentation. Okay? Para hindi ko naman checkan yun eh. Checkan ko lang yung presentation ng grupo that day. Okay? So, kasi one topic lang per group ang i-discuss ang mag-report. So, huwag na sayang oras. Sayang brain cells. Pwede nyo gamitin yun for worksheet tsaka sa laboratory report. Sa lab report kayo lahat gagawa. I mean, per group naman yung lab report nyo. Okay? Tsaka yung worksheet per group din. Okay? So, yun lang. And then, kahit magkakasabay kayo, do not share things with one another. Halimbawa, nauna yung 31 MB. Nauna kayo 31 MB or nauna yung 32 MB. Imagine mo, score mo 0. Nag-share ka sa kabilang section. Hindi sila yung nakapuntos ng mas mataas compare sa'yo. Maging madamot ka rin. Okay? Nagkakaintindihan tayo? So, kung wala na tayong tanong, I think we can move on with the lecture discussion. Okay? I hope nakuha natin yung lahat. So I just want to remind everyone again with the, what do you call this? With the dates to remember. Ito na, hindi na to September 28. This will be on October 5. Okay? Hindi, yun lang. So, may tanong pa po ba? I will ask again, Miss Des, if mayroon kayong meeting na October 5. Kung wala naman, I think we can start early. Okay? Pero kung meron kayo, um, I think, yeah, let's stick to our schedule na 1:30. Pero pag face-to-face classes, sabi ko sa kanya, pag face-to-face, lab time talaga natin. Okay? Pag online classes. Okay? So, I hope nakuha niyo to, na-screenshot niyo na yung mga gagawin natin for the next few days. Okay? Let's start. Wait lang. 2 minutes lang. Nimla ka ng water, ha? Okay. So can I have a thumbs up before we start? Okay. Hindi mo na need i-prepare yung laptops and computers or you can notes naman. Later on, we can use that. Gagamit natin yun. Okay? Later pala, just randomly ask persons. Check ako kung nakakasunod tayo. Para alam natin na tutunan yung skill na to. It's very important for us to tawag dito, matutunan to kasi medyo pagka-graduate nyo magagamit nyo yung skill na to. Okay? So our topic for today will be primer design. And primer design is a very important skill in molecular genetics or in molecular biology. So before we do your primer design or how primers are being, what they call this, how primers are being used in your PCR, or the primer basically is the application of it. So your context for context, polymerase chain reaction is a technique that is being widely used in molecular biology that designed to amplify a specific segment of DNA. So it allows scientists to generate millions to billions of copies from a single or few DNA molecules. So itong technique na to is very important kasi this is for studying small DNA samples in detail, making it a powerful tool for applications such as genetic research, forensic science, ano ba, medical diagnostics, and evolutionary biology. So sir, medyo naguluhan lang po ako sa term. So ano nga ba ibig sabihin ng amplification and primers? Amplification, ibig sabihin we are producing quantities or big quantities or large amount of specific DNA sequence, even if the initial amount of DNA is small or maliit lang siya or fragment. This DNA can be amplified and can then be analyzed or used for different experiments. Ibig sabihin, itong maikling segment na to, pinapahaba natin kasi amplification nga. Primers naman, ibig sabihin these are short, single-stranded synthetic DNA fragments. These are the para siyang susi for specificity of PCR. Ibig sabihin, itong mga primers na to are designed to bind to specific sites on the DNA. So, targeting the specific region na kailangan natin i-amplify or pahabain, reproduce in a large quantities. Your PCR process has steps. Meron tayong 3 steps for your PCR. Una, denaturation. Pangalawa, annealing. Pangatlo, extension. So, ulitin natin ha. Denaturation, annealing, tsaka extension. Una, denaturation. In your denaturation, this is the first step in your PCR cycle. First cycle siya. So, kung saan yung double-stranded DNA mo is heated to high temperature. Usually, this double DNA stranded heated usually around 95 degrees Celsius. Kasi nga, dahil nga mataas, at bakit kailangan siya i-heat na 95 degrees Celsius? This causes the hydrogen bonds between the complementary base pairs para maghiwalay. So, pag na-heat siya ng mataas, it causes the DNA to separate into 2 single strands. So, this strand serves as a template in the coding strands for the next steps. So isip ka, halimbawa, para kang nag-unzip ng zipper mo. So that's how the denaturation happens in your PCR. Pangalawa naman, you have your annealing. In your annealing, after denaturation, the reaction is being cooled to a lower temperature. Usually mga between 50 to 65 degrees Celsius. During the annealing phase, yung primers mo will bind to their complementary sequences on the single-stranded DNA templates. So these primers are specific to the gene or DNA or DNA ng region of interest mo. So, ibig sabihin, yung primer mo, specific siya yung sa kailangan niyang i-bind na fragment or template ng DNA mo. Annealing or proper annealing is very important kasi sabi ko nga kanina, primers need to attach dun sa tamang posisyon para ma-ensure na tamang DNA segment ang kailangan mo ma-amplify. Ulitin ko ha, annealing is very important kasi kailangan ma-sure natin na tama yung binabind ni primer or yung pinag-attachan niya dun sa tamang DNA segment na need mo ma-amplify or need mo ma-produce in a large quantities. Siyempre, in your annealing, meron kang tamang temperature. Depende ito sa ino-optimize mo sa bawat PCR mo. Okay? Ang bawat temperature ng primer at segment mo ay may katumbas na melting temperature. Hindi siya fixated sa isa lang. Iba-iba yan depende sa organism na kailangan mong aralin. Okay? Pangatlo, extension. After the primers have bound to the template DNA, the temperature is raised to around 70 degrees Celsius. Ito yung optimal working temperature mo for DNA polymerase. Ano nga ba yung DNA polymerase mo? Yung DNA polymerase mo is an enzyme responsible for synthesizing new DNA strands. Ibig sabihin, yung DNA polymerase enzyme mo extends the primers by adding nucleotides. So, ibig sabihin, si polymerase mo, siya yung responsible na nagdadagdag ng iba't ibang base pairs or nucleotides mo. Ano nga ba yung iba't ibang nucleotides? You have your adenine, you have your thymine, you have your cytosine, and you have your guanine. 4. Adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine. Okay? Pero, halimbawa, pag RNA, ito ha, ano lang to, a side question lang. Pag RNA yon, ano yung mawawalang nucleotides mo doon? Yes, Santos.
Thymine po, sir. Magiging uracil po.
Very good. Thymine, tapos magiging uracil siya. Okay? Saan nga ba ito i-add ni tawag dito DNA polymerase? Normally, the DNA polymerase adding nucleotides to the 3' end of the primer. Meron ka kasing 5' or 5' and 3' end ng mga primers mo. So normally, ina-add to dun sa 3' end of the primer so that it will create a new complementary strand to the DNA template. Dahil doon, the enzyme continues adding nucleotides until it reaches the end of the DNA template strand. So, ang result nun, magkakaroon ka ulit ng double-stranded DNA molecules. So, each containing one of the original strand and one newly synthesized strand. Okay? So, no need naman to deal with this in a longer time kasi i-discuss ko din to in a different time. I think this will be our last topic. Gusto ko lang kayo magkaroon ng onting context kung ano nga ba yung applications ng primers mo. Paano siya ginagamit sa PCR. Okay? So, you also have different types of PCRs. Meron tayong qPCR, which DNA molecules are tagged using fluorescent dye. Ito yung ginagamit natin to monitor and to quantify PCR products in real time. Normally, ito yung mga, what they call this? Ito yung mga for stress hormone. Reverse transcriptase or the RT-PCR creates complementary DNA by reverse transcribing RNA to DNA using reverse transcriptase. Diba, remember, you have your DNA, mRNA, tRNA, so on and so forth. So yung coding template mo, kailangan i-complement siya ni mRNA, the mRNA, ni tRNA, tapos another for your amino acid protein. Ganun yun. Anyway, move forward. You also have your multiplex PCR. Ito yung gumagamit ng different primers to multiply multiple fragments in a single DNA sample. Nested PCR naman, after the initial 25 to 35 PCR cycles, additional PCR is conducted using newly or new primers within the original primers. Ibig sabihin, they reduces the risk of unwanted products. Meron tayo tinatawag na hot start PCR. Ito yung ginagamit ito para ma-denaturate yung antibodies that are used to inactivate Taq polymerase. Meron tayong long-range PCR. Longer ranges of DNA are formed by using a mixture of polymerases. Assembly PCR, longer DNA fragments are amplified by using overlapping primers. Meron din tayo, meron din tayong asymmetric PCR. Gumagamit lang dito ng one strand of the target DNA is being amplified. And in situ PCR, these are the PCR that takes place in cells or in fix using a slide, using a tissue on a slide. Yes, Santos.
Sir, good morning po. Sorry po sa pag-disturb po ng class. Pero nag-freeze po ata po yung screen niyo po. Nasa polymerase chain reaction pa rin po.
Yeah, wala akong next slide.
Okay po.
Wala
Thank
akong
you po, sir. Kala po si namin. Thank you po.
problema. Nagbabanggit lang ako ng iba't ibang different PCRs. No need naman to remember. Just remember the steps and purpose ng PCR. Nagbabanggit lang ako ng alam kong PCR. Okay? So let's move forward. So here is our real topic. This is your primers. Like what I've mentioned earlier, your primers are short strands of DNA and RNA that are designed based on a gene of interest. Yung design ng primers mo ensures specificity to the gene and doon sa organism na kailangan mong aralin. Ibig sabihin, it allows the precise initiation of DNA replication or amplification of the gene during techniques katulad ng PCR mo. Remember, your PCR is biomimicking of what is happening during your replication stage. Kaya nga meron kang denaturation, annealing, tsaka extension mo. So yun ang ginagawa ni PCR mo. So you have your primers para i-extend iyon or para padamihin iyon. So para mapadami yun, you will have hybridization or hybridizes. Ibig sabihin, yung hybridization, another term for annealing. Hybridization or hybridize is the process where complementary strands of DNA or RNA bind to each other. This involves the bonding of nucleotides kung saan a sequence on one strand pairs with the complementary sequence on the other strand. Itong technique na to your PCR, ibig sabihin, the primers must anneal, bind, hybridize to their target sequence para ma-initiate mo yung replication mo. Meron ka rin tinatawag na gene marker. The gene marker is a specific sequence of DNA with a known location on a chromosome in a known sequence of nucleotides. Ibig sabihin sa mga bases mo. Itong mga markers na to are very important para ma-identify mo yung particular gene or regions of interest within the genome. Merong iba't ibang alterations at variations in these sequences that can be used para ma-identify yung traits, species, or evolutionary relationship ng organism to another organism. Ginagamit din natin yung gene markers natin dahil itong gene markers na to will serve as tools para matrack yung inheritance patterns or para ma-compare natin yung DNA sequences between organisms to determine genetic similarity or evolutionary relatedness. Okay? Meron tayong mga primer katulad ng CO1. CO1 is a universal standard gene marker. CO1 used for comparison across species kasi nga universal siya. Ibig sabihin, may mga CO1 primers tayo, for example, CO1 primers for invertebrates, CO1 primers for cocci, CO1 primers for bacillus. So these are the standard gene markers that are often used in evolutionary biology and to identify species because dahil ginagamit sila dahil nga they are conserved across wide range or broad range of organisms, allowing bigger comparison, allowing broad comparison within different organisms. So your primers has what they call your forward or reverse primer. Yung forward primers mo are primers that bind dun sa antisense strand. Ano nga ba yung antisense and sense strand mo kung tawagin? So your antisense strand of your DNA or tinatawag natin tong template strand ah hindi siya nag-carry ng translatable code from 5' to 3' direction. So most likely, you have your 3' to 5'. So ulitin ko ha, forward primers are primers that bind to the antisense strand of the DNA duplex or your template. Ibig sabihin, the DNA template, the one that runs from a 3' to 5' direction. So your forward primer runs from 5' to 3' direction. Okay? Yung reverse primer mo naman are primers that bind dun sa sense strand mo. Sense strand are the coding strand. Ito yung segment within double-stranded DNA that carries the translatable code from 5' to 3'. So, ibig sabihin, yung sense strand mo are coming from 5' to 3', and the reverse prime is 3' to 5'. Okay? Titingin ko ha, yung 3' to 5', if nakalimutan nyo ng turo ni teacher ng senior high school, yun yung end or kung paano tumatakbo yung DNA template mo or coding templates mo. Okay? So, during your replication, meron tinatawag na leading strand in transcription. The DNA polymerase binds the primer and will make a new strand. So, like what I've mentioned earlier, the DNA polymerase mo will move in a 3' to 5' direction along the template para magkaroon ka ng bagong tawag dito, bagong chain papunta dun sa 5' end mo. Like what I've mentioned earlier, mag-start sa 3' papunta dun sa 5' end mo. Dito naman din, mag-start siya sa 3' end papunta dun sa 5' P or 5' P terminus mo. Start sa 3' papunta dito. Start sa 3' papunta dito. Okay? Nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo? Can we still follow? Naiintindihan pa po ba natin? Do you have any question? May tanong po ba? Meron bang hindi nagigets? All goods tayo as of now? Okay. So, in molecular biology, we can create primers manually, or we can design or sequence of the primer that's going to be used for PCR, which is very essential using software. Meron tayong iba't ibang factors that have to be considered when designing the most optimal primers for any gene of interest. So meron tayong, for example, primer length, primer melting temperature, primer annealing temperature, content and clamp ng guanine cytosine, secondary structures which can be hairpin loops, can be cross dimers or self dimer. But tinatawag na runs and repeats, and also your cross homology. Ibig sabihin, pwede siyang mag-bind to other organism. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya strong dun sa organism mo lang. Okay? So let's discuss this one by one. So the primer length in your PCR kasi, like what I mentioned earlier, for PCR, in the PCR, it plays a critical or important role para ma-determine natin specificity tsaka efficiency ng amplification ng DNA mo. The length of a primer, typically between 15 to 22 base pairs or 18 to 24 long base pairs. So it's very important para ma-ensure that ensuring the balance between specific binding and binding efficiency. Ibig sabihin, pag specificity, binding to the correct sequence. Pag sinabi natin binding efficiency, attaching securely dun sa tamang template. Okay? Binding, tamang sequence, specific binding, tamang sequence, binding efficiency, correct template ang ina-attach natin. Okay? So, ano nga ba pag sinabi nating specific at efficient? Una, specificity. So, longer primers, for example, pag meron ka, or halimbawa, paano pag tama yung primers mo between 15 to 22 or 18 to 24 number of bases? Primers have a greater chance of finding and binding only dun sa exact complementary sequence on the DNA template. The longer the primer, the more unique it becomes within the genome. So, nababawasan yung risk of binding to the similar but unintended sequences. Ibig sabihin, hindi mali yung pag-attach mo sa sequences. Dahil dito, dahil correct yung number of base pairs mo, or correct yung haba ng base pairs mo, it will not cause non-specific amplification. Pag sinabi kasi natin specific, it is the ability of the primers to bind only dun sa target sequence of DNA mo. The longer the primer, the less likely it is to randomly bind elsewhere in the genome. Kasi nga, longer sequence is likely to have a match at incorrect location. And also, if masyadong mahaba yung primers mo, meron kang slower hybridization. Ibig sabihin, mas mabagal siyang kakabit dun sa target region mo. Kasi nga, medyo mahaba siya. And dahil kahit mag-attach siya dun sa tamang gene of interest mo, mabagal yung annealing process. Okay? Pag sinabi naman natin efficient binding, so for example, meron kang shorter primers, meron kang less than 15 primers. It may bind to multiple non-specific location within the DNA kasi nga shorter sequences siya, which are the common errors in the genome. This can result to non-specific amplification. Ibig sabihin, undesired sections yung makakopy dun sa DNA mo. Primers shorter than 15 base pairs may also have weaker binding stability. Ibig sabihin, medyo mababa yung melting temperature mo. Meaning, they can easily dissociate from the template DNA, especially during the denaturation and annealing steps ng PCR mo. So, kung mababa or weaker binding stability ka, it can reduce the efficiency ng reaction mo. Again, pag masyadong maikli, it can produce non-specific amplification, your amplified genes that you don't intend to amplify. Yung hindi mo gusto, yun ang makukuha niya. Okay, again, the primer length must be 15 to 22 or 18 to 24 base pairs. Nagkakaintindihan po ba? Nakuha po ba yung first part natin? Yung primer length? Can you have a thumbs up? Yes, Mariano. Question. May tanong?
Sir, mali lang
Yes.
po. Sorry po.
Okay. Yes, Carbon. Question.
Sir, namali lang din something that sorry, nakakalito po kasi yung buttons.
Okay. Ginaslight niya pa yung mga thumbs up tsaka yung raise ng hand. Kaya talaga. Okay. Let's move on. The next one is your primer melting temperature. Pag sinabi natin primer melting temperature, this is a factor in your PCR where determines the optimal temperature during the amplification process. The melting temperature refers to the temperature at which 50% of the DNA primer duplex or the double-stranded DNA formed by the primer annealing sa target sequence mo para mag-dissociates or ang pinakasimpleng term for dissociate is mag-melt and to become a single strand. Namali ka uli, Carbon? Naka-raise ka ng hand? Or question na talaga siya? Okay. So, going back, like what I've mentioned earlier, your melting temperature determines the temperature at which 50% of the DNA duplex are being melted, become a single strand. Yung melting temperature mo, this temperature reflects of the primer stability when it is bound to its complementary DNA sequence. The melting temperature should have a balance between the double-stranded and a single-stranded where the primer template should hybrid or hybridize. Ano nga ba ang effect ng melting temperature mo dun sa PCR mo? So, if for example, meron kang mataas na melting temperature, by the way, the range of your melting temperature should be 52 to 58 degrees. Ang maximum natin ay 65 degrees. Okay pa yon. Okay? Pag beyond 65, medyo delix na. Pag below 65, medyo hindi na rin maganda. Ano nga ba ang effect nun kung meron kang mataas na melting temperature? Ang tinatawag natin dito ay magkakaroon ka ng risk of secondary annealing. If the melting temperature is too high, above 65 degrees, primers may become too stable and can potentially bind non-specifically dun sa other regions ng DNA mo. Ibig sabihin, magkakaroon ka ng secondary annealing or tinatawag natin non-specific amplification. Most likely, dahil doon, magkakaroon ka ng secondary structure. So, pwede siyang maging hairpin or where it binds to itself or it can reduce the primer's efficiency in binding to the target DNA sequence. Okay? Pag masyado ring mataas, yun like what I've mentioned earlier, secondary annealing, pwede kang magkaroon ng primer dimers. So, para siyang mga lata or kung makikita natin sa gel, papakita ko yung primer dimers kahit later on pa. Walang primer dimer. So, ito. For example, masyado siyang mababa. Yan. Non-specific amplification niya. Yan yun. Okay? So, dahil doon, hindi maganda yung primers mo. So, ano naman ang tawag dito? Risk naman pag masyadong mababa yung temperature mo. If the melting temperature is too low, below 52 degrees Celsius, the primers may not bind stably to the target sequences mo, leading to having a poor specific and reduced efficiency in your amplification dun sa target DNA. At low annealing temperature, the primers can bind to partially complementary sequences, pero non-specific pa rin siya. So, undesired pa rin yung result mo, and overall, hindi siya maganda for experiment mo. In order for us to check kung tama nga ba yung melting temperature natin, we use the formula. This, you have your 2 multiplied to the price of numbers of adenine plus the number of thymine plus multiplied to 4 with the numbers of guanine and the numbers of your cytosine. So, going back to your PEMDAS, ano nga bang una nating gagawin na tawag dito? Formula. Yung sa loob ba ng parenthesis or mag-multiply muna tayo? Anong sabi sa PEMDAS? Sa loob muna ba ng parenthesis or mag-multiply muna tayo?
Yung sa
Anyone?
parenthesis po muna, sir.
Banyo? Ay, sa parenthesis muna. So, mag-add ka muna bago tayo mag-multiply. Okay? Pare-pare sa ng ginagawa ha. Add muna bago mag-multiply. Ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng A plus T tsaka G plus C? Ano yung i-count natin dito? Hiccup.
Ano sir, dun sa first parenthesis is you will add first the adenine plus thymine, and then in the second parenthesis is the guanine and the cytosine before you multiply.
Okay. Anong i-add mo yung number of base pairs ha? Numbers of base pairs. Ibig sabihin magbibilang ka kung ilan yung adenine, ilan yung A, ilan yung T, ilan yung G, tsaka ilan yung C dun sa primers mo. Okay? Ulitin ko lang ha. Okay. Thank you for that recap. Ulitin ko lang the melting temperature is the optimum temperature at which 50% of the DNA duplex will dissociate to become a single strand. The optimum temperature is 52 to 58 degrees, but the maximum temperature is until up to 65 degrees. Pag masyadong mataas or more than 65, it will result in secondary annealing where primer dimers are being formed. Pag masyadong mababa naman, less than 52 degrees Celsius, primers are unstable, may not bind efficiently dun sa target region mo. Okay? Mamaya papakita kung paano yun. Next one, you have your primer annealing temperature. Si primer annealing temperature naman is another important thing kasi nga ito lalo yung nakaka-apekto dun sa efficiency tsaka specificity ng amplification process mo. So, normally, typically, your annealing temperature is set a few degrees below sa primer melting temperature mo. Normally, between 3 to 5 degrees Celsius siya. It is the temperature at which the primers bind sa template DNA mo during the annealing step sa PCR mo. So, kailangan mong ma-optimize yung annealing temperature mo sa bawat PCR reaction mo para ma-achieve mo yung specific binding ng mga primers mo dun sa correct target sequence. If tama yung if mali yung annealing temperature mo, it can lead to poor results including low PCR yield or non-specific. Again, what if anong mangyayari pag masyadong mataas yung annealing temperature mo? When the annealing temperature is set too high, the temperature might be above or very close dun sa primer's melting temperature. Ibig sabihin, pag malapit siya or mas mataas siya dun sa melting temperature mo, the primers may not bind, ibig sabihin hindi sila mag-hybridize efficiently dun sa DNA template mo. Kasi nga masyado siyang mataas at magpe-prevent ito ng formation ng ah, ah, stable hydrogen bonds within the primer and the template. So, if that's the case, wala kang stable primer template complexes na mabubuo. Next is, ano naman po, pag masyadong, ano naman po kung masyadong mababa yung annealing temperature ko? The primers can bind non-specifically dun sa regions ng DNA mo that are partially complementary. Lower temperatures allow less specific interaction and most likely will occur kasi nga your primers do not need to match perfectly to form stable complexes. And non-specific, meaning the DNA regions other than target, may also be amplified. Okay? So, you have here, ingay talaga dito. Wait lang ha, i-close ko lang yung bintana namin. So, ibig sabihin, for example, ulitin ko lang, uh, we have here a formula na ginagamit. Ito yung longer formula na ginagamit natin. Pero dahil meron na tayong melting temperature ng primer natin dun sa previous slide ito, dahil na-compute na natin, we can just use -5 degrees. Kaya sabi ko kanina, di ba? You have your 3 to 5 degrees below different from your melting temperature. So, melting temperature -5 degrees na lang para makuha natin yung annealing temperature. Okay? So, if the ideal, I just want to reiterate and recall and ulitin ko lang ulit. Your annealing temperature is the ideal at which the forward and reverse primer anneal or attach din sa target region mo, which is very important kasi nga, if there's no annealing, there's no amplification. Annealing temperature is primer specific siya. It varies from primer to primer and wala siyang standard annealing temperature mo. Kaya nga sabi ko kanina, it varies and you have to optimize each PCR process. If masyadong mataas yung temperature mo, may lead to poor PCR yield, and if it doesn't attach, of course, it will prevent synthesis ng bagong DNA mo. If masyadong mababa naman, non-specific amplification siya, the formation of dimers will also occur or may attach to a different gene of interest. Normally, the annealing temperature should be 45 or 40 to 60 degrees Celsius. Okay? Nakuha po ba? Can I have a thumbs up? In-assure ko lang ha. Sorry, medyo helicopter ako. Okay, next. Onting slide na lang. Have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slides na lang. Next, you have here GC content and GC clamp. So this one is the next criteria, which the primers must have sufficient number of GC content or your guanine cytosine content and have a guanine cytosine clamp. Pag sinabi natin guanine cytosine content, these are or refers to the number of guanine and cytosine nucleotides in the DNA sequence, including in your primers. So, the GC content percentage must be within 40 to 60%. So, para makuha natin yan, binibilang natin yung number ng G at C, minumultiply natin sa total number primer length, at dinidivide natin sa bitin ko ha, kinakount natin yung numbers ng G at C dun sa primer mo, design primer mo, binidivide natin sa primer length at minumultiply natin sa 100 para makuha natin yung percentages niya. Okay, ganun siya. So, bakit nga ba kailangan or bakit nga ba important yung GC content? guanine and cytosine base pairs are held together by 3 hydrogen bonds. Compared mo yun sa adenine-thymine na meron lamang 2. So the stronger GC bonding makes the reason with higher GC content more stable at higher temperature. Having a within number of 40 to 60% GC content creates a balance between stability and flexibility. Pag meron kang mababang GC content, a primer with too few GNC content bases may result in a weak binding and will have somehow decreased stability, especially pag higher temperature siya. So dahil nga onti lang yung hydrogen bonds niya, medyo mabilis lang siyang mag-melt. Pag high GC content naman, a primer with masyadong madaming GC content may bind too tightly. Medyo mahirapan naman mag-release yung making it difficult for the primer to release and for the strands to separate during the denaturation ng step ng PCR mo. Medyo magulo, pero kailangan mo lang in between ng 40 to 60% para ma-ensure that the primers can stably bind to the template under typical condition of your PCR. Also, para hindi siya mag-dissociate agad. Okay? Your GC clamp naman, ibig sabihin ito yung strategic placement ng GNC nucleotides mo. Normally, nakikita siya dun sa dulo ng 3' end mo. Okay? So, your 3' end, yung 5 mo. Para silang 5', 5', 5', 3', 3' siya. Yung last 5 mo. Okay? Last 5. Okay? Ay, 6 pala to. Ito lang. Hanggang dito lang pala. Last 5. Yan. Okay? So, yung GC clamp mo, dapat hindi siya more than 3 Gs and Cs. Okay? So, bakit nga ba kailangan na meron itong enough number ng GC para hindi ka mag-clamp? Dun sa dulo, the 3' end of the primer, like what I mentioned earlier, it is where the initiation ng DNA synthesis started. Having enough G or C nucleotides in this region enhances the stability of the primer template. Kasi nga, the stronger the triple bonding between the G and the C bases, most likely increasing the likelihood ng mga primers mo to have enough bonds between. And also, correct binding ng target DNA sequence mo. And hindi siya ma-detach prematurely. Okay? So, ulitin ko lang ha. Ulitin ko lang. The GC content must be 40 to 60%. GC clamp must be enough number GCs dun sa 3' end mo para hindi mag-reduce ng primer efficiency. Okay? Nakuha po ba? Nakuha po ba ang ating GNC? Okay. Next, meron tayong tinatawag na secondary structures. So, itong secondary structures tsaka yung cross-homology mo, hindi natin siya nakuha manually. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya ma-check manually. Normally, ito ay pwede na siya makuha through a software. Tuturuan ko naman kayo paano software ang pwede natin ang pwede natin ma-check kung may secondary structure. Pero meron kayo kasing part sa paper na kayo yung mag-explore ng iba't ibang software na gagamitin. Kailangan ng 3 to 5 at least 3 softwares ang need niyong matutunan. But anyhow, moving on. So, in your secondary structures, meron tayong tatawag na 3 bagay. Meron tayong hairpin, self-dimer, at cross-dimer. Besides satisfying the criteria that we just discussed, primers must not result in the formation of the secondary structure. Secondary structures are what we usually call primer dimers, or you see at the bottom of your agarose gel. Kasi nga, there are short nucleotide sequences that can easily pass through sa agarose gel. Hindi siya ganun kabigat. Meron tayong hairpin. Hairpin, ibig sabihin, these are the intramolecular. Kung sinabi natin intramolecular, these are complementary base pairs within the same strand. Ibig sabihin, nagko-connect siya sa sarili niya lang. Intramolecular, within the same strand. So this occurs if there are consecutive bases on one end that have complementary bases on the other end of the primer. So ang tendency nito, it will create or form bonds forming a loop like a hairpin. Okay? Meron ka rin tatawag na self-dimer. Self-dimer naman, these are, your self-dimers is intermolecular. Ibig sabihin, they interact with different molecules. So, in your second self-dimer, this happens when there are consecutive bases on one end that have complementary bases on the other end of the primer. Instead of forming hairpin on one forward primer pairs with another forward primer, so ang mangyayari nun, yung one reverse primer mo will bind dun sa another copy ng reverse primer mo. So it will have it will happen. So it will having binding to other different molecules. Intermolecular kasi siya. Next, you have your cross dimer. Sa cross dimer mo, nangyayari ito, isa rin itong intermolecular, so different molecules din siya. This happens when there are consecutive bases on the forward primer that complements with the consecutive bases on the reverse primer mo. Ang tendency nun is they bind to each other and hindi dun sa target gene mo. So, yung parehas na primer mo, yung nagbabind, hindi yung primer dapat dun sa template. So, hindi na siya agad tama. We also have what we call your repeats and runs or runs and repeats mo. Repeats, ibig sabihin, meron kang a repeat in DNA sequences. So, a short pattern of your dinucleotides, usually 2 or more bases sila. Repeats consecutively happens multiple times. So, a common example nito, yung mga dinucleotide repeats mo, yung 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. So, paano ba masasabi na meron kang repeats? Dapat yung repeats mo should not more than 4. So, halimbawa, ito, 81, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 na yan. 7 dinucleotides. Kasi nga, dalawang nucleotides ang pare-parehas na magkakasunod. TG, 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 TG. Repeats yan. Okay? Runs naman, ibig sabihin, yung sequences mo having the same multiple times in a row. Nucleotide lang to, 1. Okay? Isa lang, isa lang. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, single base lamang sila. Katulad nito, CC, CC. Dapat hindi na siya sosobra sa 4. Okay? More than 4 bases. Example, yung C, 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 C mo. Dapat 4 na sila para pasok pa siya. Pero dahil 6 na siya, sira na yan. Hindi na siya pasok sa criteria. Same with the A, sobrang dami. Same with the T. Maximum 4 bases, maximum 4 dinucleotides. Naintindihan po ba? Again, pag nagkakaroon kayo ng more than 4 runs and repeats, mispriming na naman, non-specific, erroneous na naman yung amplification. Okay? Naintindihan po ba? Okay. Last one, you have your cross-homology bago tayo mag-practicals. Okay? So yung cross-homology mo, the primer design should not exhibit cross-homology. Pag sinabi natin cross-homology, there is when your primer can amplify a different gene that is not your gene of interest. Halimbawa, if your primer can amplify both 16S RNA or CO1, dapat yung first nun is non-specific amplification. Hindi yung gene na target mo ang ma-amplify mo. Kasi nga, pwede siyang dalawa. Or, pwede mangyari doon na iba't ibang organism siya na-amplify. Kasi dapat maging specific lang siya. Okay? Nagkakaintindihan tayo. Dapat hindi siya madami. Are we clear? Yun lang yung cross homology. Yun lang yung ibig sabihin nun. Dapat, kung 16S siya, 16S lang siya. Pag CO1 siya, CO1 lang siya. Hindi siya pwedeng 16S tsaka CO1. Hindi siya pwedeng madaming organism at the same time. Okay? Okay. You have any question po so far? May tanong po ba tayo? May tanong? None? Magulo? Wala? Malinaw? Okay. Yes, pleno.
So basically po sir, kapag na-check po natin lahat ng criteria na yun, or dahil po sa lahat ng criteria na yun, meron po ba tayong palagi na perfect primer para sa isang gene sequence? Wala, may,
Primers depende sa organism mo.
okay po.
So,
So,
depende rin sa sequence.
so may chance po na makapag-create tayo ng multiple primers sa isang gene sequence or hindi po yun magiging
Yes,
possible?
pwede. Pwede kang makakreate ng multiple primers sa gene sequence mo. Creation of creation of primers kasi is a trial and error method yan. So katulad mamaya, maggagawa tayo ng primers na gusto natin. Pag mali yun, hahanap ka na naman ng bago within the sequence given sa organism mo. Okay? Dun sa organism, sa bibigay natin organism sequence, dun ka maghahanap ng primer mo. So, halimbawa, itong primer na napili mo, pwede siyang primer sa ibang organism or pwede siyang primer na dun lang sa organism mo. So, halimbawa, may iba't ibang criteria tayong pwedeng tingnan na. Satisfied ka ba sa answer?
Opo, sir. Thank you po.
Okay. So, maglabas tayo ng docs. Pakilagay ng docs natin ng topic 1 underscore topic 1 underscore surname. Yun lang. Topic 1 underscore surname. Okay? And then, pakilagay, stop ko na yung share ko. Pakilagay, start. Ang primer na to, ay ang sequence na to. Sorry. Kung medyo nabibilis lang kayo, pasensya na, okay. Okay, pasensya. Ngayon ko lang nabasa yung chat. Wait lang. Okay. Ilagay ito sa Docs. Pwede yung Google Docs naman or doc file. Wait lang. Ayaw mag-open. Wait. Yan. Pakilagay po yan sa doc file na pinagawa ko. Maraming salamat po. And then balik tayo by 10:10. Kaya lang tayo, 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Sorry class, interrupt your break. Pero gawa na rin tayo ng ganitong document. Ganitong table pala. Para hindi na tayo maguluhan later. We're just going to place, what do you call this? Leave it here for a while. Okay. Okay. Ready? Can I have a thumbs up? So let's start. I hope everyone has their own document or file in order for us to see if tama ba yung ginagawa natin following the criteria that we discussed earlier. So in order for us to apply our discussion, like what I've mentioned earlier, you can do primer design into things. You can do it manually or you can do it using a software. So ngayon, gagawin natin, gawa tayo ng primer design. Depends on doing or using creating it manually. Sorry, mali ng grammar ko. Creating it manually. So, in your primer design, like what I've mentioned earlier, meron tayo ditong sequence. Meron kang sequence dito. Yung gagamitin nating sequence ay Sardinella tagilis or 16S ribosomal RNA gene. So, remember, ito yung mga sequence mo na kailangan i-complement ng DNA ng template mo. So, ito yung name niya, ito yung number. Kumbaga, tinatawag natin ito accession number or tawag natin tag or DNA tags. Okay, wait lang ha. Wait lang po. Okay, so, hanap lang. Okay, so, in this document or in this sequence, pwede tayong mamili kahit saan. Pwede tayong mag-start from here. Yan, basta enough yung length mo ng forward primer mo. At pwede tayong namili ng dito sa dulo, which is your here, pwede siya maging reverse primer. Or pwede tayong mamili here for your forward primer. Pwede naman tayong mamili here for reverse primer. And then yung kailangan mo i-amplify, nasa gitna. Normally, nasa gitna yung kailangan mo, yung target gene of interest mo. Okay? So, let's, for example, these are 5' to 3'. And normally, in your primer manually created, kailangan naka-reverse complement siya. Para maging 3' to 5', ay kailangan siya i-complement para maging 3' to 5', and kailangan mo siya i-reverse complement kasi nga tayo yung gumawa. Hindi naman si software. Kasi manually mo siyang ginagawa. Okay? So ito yung sequence mo. Let's choose. Pamili tayo ng primers natin, both for forward and reverse. And let's try if these primers are within the criteria. Okay? So, halimbawa, ang pipiliin kong primer ay bilang tayo. Kailangan makapag-satisfy, ba ito? Ito. I-highlight natin ng color yellow. Yan. Ay, yan. Highlight ng color yellow. Copy natin. Okay. Lagay natin 5', paste, tapos 3'. Yan. Tingnan natin later kung tama nga ba. Next, kuha tayo ng reverse primer. Kuha tayo sa dulo. Ilang ito? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20. May natin ito. Ay! Ay. Ako. Yan. Tapos, lagay natin 5', paste, 3'. Ay, hindi ko na-highlight. I-highlight natin. GTG. Blue. Highlight natin. Blue. Okay. So, nakuha ba? Nakapili na tayo ng primer na gusto natin. Nakuha na ba yung first step na yon? Nakuha? Can I have a thumbs up? Namimili pa lang tayo ng primer, ha? Nakuha na po? Okay. Next, si reverse primer, kailangan natin siya i-complement. Like what I've mentioned earlier, di ba? Meron tayong base pairs, meron tayong base pairings. Ibig sabihin yung partner niya. So 3' and yung partner ni G. Your A, partner with T. Your G, partner with C. Okay, ulitin ko ha. Yung A mo, partner with T. Your G, partner with C. Okay. Can I call randomly Kaslib, can you please complement the reverse primer? Kaslib.
Yes po, sir.
Okay.
Complement po. TG
Wait lang. G.
G
Start tayo sa G muna.
CG.
Wait lang. C.
Sige po.
Ang partner ni G ay C.
A.
Ang partner ay A. Bakit
A.
A?
C po,
Yung
sir.
ito iha, itong C. Next.
A.
C. A.
C.
Next. Sorry ulit.
C po, sir. Lag po
C.
yata.
Sunod. Okay. Sorry. Next.
G.
G.
G po, sir, ang next.
Next.
T.
Hmm?
T.
T ulit.
C.
C.
C po. G. G. G po ang, ayan. C. G.
G.
G. A.
A. Sige, ako na. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ako na. C. Wait lang. Saan ba tayo? T. Sorry. T. Sunod. A. T. C. A. Tapos, 5 prime. Okay? Ito yung complement. Okay? So, lagyan natin ng red. Yan. Pero, hindi pa yan yung reverse primer mo ha. Hindi pa siya yung reverse primer mo. Ang final reverse primer mo ay yung reverse complement ng complement mo. Kaya nga reverse complement siya. So, ibig sabihin, yung ito, magiging 5 prime, tapos magiging A, C, tapos T, A, T, A, G, G, C, T, G, A, C. Tapos 3 prime N. Kung baga, ni-reverse ko lang yung complement na to. Okay? Reverse complement. Yan. Save natin. Baka wala. Okay? So, ito yung gagamitin nating primer. Highlight natin to. I-underline na lang natin to. Yan. Gawin natin nga. Okay. Yan. Ito yung gagamitin nating primer. Yan. Nakuha po ba? Again, paano ko uli nakuha yung reverse complement? I-reverse ko lang yung complement na to. May babang term for babaliktarin mo lang, Tagalog. So yung A, naging simula na siya na A, C. Hindi siya i-complement dito. Kasi babalik ka na naman sa simula. Complement mo lang to. Tama? So i-reverse complement natin siya. Babaliktarin mo lang. Kung ano yung simula, kung ano yung dulo, magiging simula siya. Kung ano yung simula, magiging dulo siya. Are we clear? Nakuha po ba?
Yes
Okay.
po.
Next. Let's try na check natin yung mga criteria kung suffice ba yung mga numbers or yung mga discussion natin. Una, primer length. Okay? Primer length. Gaano nga ba kahaba ang primer length natin dapat? Alvarez?
18 to 24 primers.
18 to 24 or yes,
Not less
Gazarin.
than
15 to 18 po.
Huh? Help your friend. Di Zafra.
15 to 22 po.
15 to 22 or 18 to 22, 24, sorry, number of base pairs. Ulitin ko ha, 15 to 22 or 15 to 24. So, ibig sabihin, not less than 15 not more than 24. Okay? So, sa forward primer, bilang tayo. Bilangin mo, ilan ang sagot? Aldabe, sorry. Ilan? Aldabe, ilan ang
21 po.
primer?
21 po.
21. How about the reverse? Ilan?
21 din po.
21 yung reverse? 1, 2, 3, 17, 19, 20 lang, be. Ilan uli yung reverse mo?
Sorry po, 20 po.
20. Okay. Next. Okay tayo? Same tayo? Same tayo na answers? Nakuha? Okay. Next. Your GNC content. Ano nga ba yung sabihin ng GNC content? Kailangan, ilang percent ng GNC content mo for your primers? Bukad?
40 to 60% po.
40 to 60%. Paano natin malalaman kung enough or paano natin malalaman kung yung range or percentage ng content mo ay within the number? Yes, Dakis.
Bibilangin po yung number of GC then divided by the primer length times the 100